Hey y'all, it's me again. I just wanted to record this real quick because it kind of just dawned on me today. It's kind of something I wanted to, post, you know, as I'm going through Little Nightmares 3. Um, so what is happening with this is that I just kind of want to theory dump a little bit. This is just going to be a bit of a yap session. It's not really much. If you don't care much about what I have to say, then it's all good. Recently today I just uploaded another video for Little Nightmares 3, and there were a couple of things that I was wanted to theorize about, particularly the ending of this game. I have no idea what the fucking ending of this game is going to be, and that's honest to God, I have no idea what's going to be the ending. I have no idea who the final enemy is going to be. I have zero idea if it's going to connect to Mono or Six in any way, shape, or form. I have zero idea. None. But one thing I want to point out is how in the game, when the game begins, where the first character you see in Little Nightmares 3 is Lo. You see Lo lying on the ground before Alone eventually finds him sleeping and wakes him up, and the two just venture out into the world. One thing I found really interesting about that moment was that Lo was in front of a mirror, of a broken mirror. I'm going to try and show it on screen here. But Lo is in front of a broken mirror, and in the second part of my Little Nightmares 3 series, which I just dropped today, we actually end up using the mirrors as a way of transportation across the world, which I think is really interesting, because if you remember Little Nightmares 2, in that game, you use a similar method to get across the world, except this time it's television. It's the TVs that you're using. And one thing I also think that was really interesting about Little Nightmares 2 is that the beginning of that game, Mono is waking up right in front of a TV, which it's heavily implied that that TV is what he comes out of after the ending of the story. So to put that in simple terms, it's heavily implied that Mono is stuck in a time loop. And you sort of see a similar thing happening here with how it starts. You wake up in a weird-ass area, you don't know what's happening, you wake up in front of an object that is used as transportation, and eventually you find your companion. Mono found Six, and in this case, Alone actually finds Lo, and they go out. They just go out and explore. So, one thing that I'm just finding interesting is that the only character who we didn't first see in that the only character who we are first introduced to who does not wake up like that is Six. The only character that does not wake up in front of it, that is not trapped in any loops that we know of, is Six. So I think that's pretty interesting just to think about. If Six somehow is related to this story as well, because Six has been treated as like a, I don't know. Yet again, I have no idea if Six is involved in this game at all. I have zero idea if Six is in this game. Zero clue. I have zero idea if Six is going to be mentioned. I have no idea if Mono is going to be mentioned. However, I also think that it was interesting that the TV that was also in the second part, if you remember, with that one guy, either they're just doing these little references just for fun, or they're trying to hint at something bigger. Because I'm trying to just figure out here where this game places in terms of the Little Nightmares timeline, because yet again, I said in the first part, I don't think it is like a completely standalone game. I do think it takes place in the same world as Little Nightmares. I think it takes place in the same world as Little Nightmares 2, and by extension, Little Nightmares 1. I do not think, however, this happens before. I think, if anything, this happens after Little Nightmares 1. And by extension, it happens after Little Nightmares 2. So, those are just some things to think about. And yet again, this entire video could be completely scrapped. Now, yet again, if you know the ending, please, and if you even see this and you know the ending, please don't comment it. Please. I'm begging you. But it's just interesting to think about, is all. And I kind of wanted to just point that out because Little Nightmares tells its story largely through the environment. The characters do not say anything. They only perform actions. They do not say words other than like whispers and grunts and whatever. So Little Nightmares sort of relies on its environment and background to tell the story. But I do think that there are just some interesting parallels. Not necessarily connections, but just I think there are interesting parallels to be drawn. Here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to say. So that's where I'm at in the series right now. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But if you've stayed this far, thanks, and I will see you when I upload next. Hopefully it's soon. And yeah, catch you guys later.